Previous video shows how to count lines, polylines and circles from the entities selected by the user. Now, we will be adding code for counting pongs as well.
Let us quickly revisit the code of previous tutorial. Variables for selection set and counters for lines, polylines and circles are initialized here. We are then populating the selection set using ssget, and then traversing through each entity within the selection set, in a while loop. Inside the condition block, if the entity type is line, we are incrementing counter for lines by 1. If the entity type is polyline, counter for polyline is incremented. And this is for circles.
Prepare the drawing for testing our code. Apart from lines, polylines, circles and other entities, there should be also some points in our drawing. Add some lines. Note that, as you go on clicking the points one after the other, line command continues until you press enter. Use list command for knowing how many lines are drawn. As seen, there are 9 entities drawn so far, and all of them are lines. Let us add some circles now. We created one circle and copied it using CP shortcut of copy command. Create polylines now. And lastly, adding some points. Command PD mode is used for changing the shape of point. and command PD size is used for changing point size. We now have a drawing to be used for testing.
Our mission is to provide counter for points. There are some lines, polylines, circles and points in this drawing. We already have counters for lines, polylines and circles. Now, another counter for points should be added. A counter named toTpoints is set to 0 outside the while loop. Inside while loop, we are already checking if the entity is line, polyline or circle. Most easy way is to reuse some code block by copy-pasting and making necessary changes. We are reusing the code written for circle and making necessary changes for point entities. Finally, we are printing number of points found in the features selected by the user. And save the drawing. We are now ready for testing if the newly added code is working or not.
Now, we are running the program and seeing if it is now counting points from selection or not. Select Run without debugging from the Run drop-down menu. You will be prompted to select Running AutoCAD process from the drop-down. Function named FeatureSelect, defined in this file, should now be loaded in AutoCAD. Switch to AutoCAD and run the function. Now, when prompted, select some features in the drawing. Counts of points in the selection should now be included, along with counts of lines, polylines and circles. After adding the code for counting points, you should try yourself for adding code for another entity type, like text. Pause this video and try typing the code by yourself. Coding yourself is the best way of learning.